Hello everybody. Today's video is going to be on a little bit of hot foiling, and we're going to try and experiment with foiling with embossing folders. So this machine, I don't know if you can see it, it takes up the whole screen, is the Todo machine, which I got from Create and Craft. Just to give you a size comparison, here is a plate from my regular Big Kick machine. And you can see that this machine is much larger. I mean, it's not even in view. But this machine is basically a larger version of the Big Kick. It is the European machine. I did get it from Create and Craft over a year ago. I did not do a review video on it because it is quite cumbersome. I do not use it as often as I would like to use it. And honestly, there are other machines that you could have and use, and I probably would not recommend spending the money on this machine like I did. So, however, there is a neat thing that it does. Besides embossing 8.5 by 11 embossing folders, which are great if you're a scrapbooker, which is originally why I got the machine. So these are full 8.5 by 11 embossing folders, as I do scrapbooking. So that is why I originally bought the machine. The other thing it does is it does hot foiling. What is hot foiling? Hot foiling is when you take a metal die, which doesn't cut, but it impresses, similar to letterpress, but it impresses foil. Now, you guys can hear that clicking in the background. That is my mini mink, which is heating up off to the side over there. And we're going to do something with that, but I wanted that heated up. So this machine is turned on. The light is green. I have my Christmas greeting on here, and I think that's when you're going to see most heat foiling, is when people are doing Christmas greetings. Anna Griffin now promotes a machine on HSN. She does obviously promote her mini mink. Her machine is called the Anna Griffin Go and Press Foil Machine. It is basically a hot plate. And I'm going to show you what it does. I don't have that machine, but this does it. And it looks like it's $129.95, and it comes with some foils and some things. But what I did order off of her show the other day were the Christmas greetings hot foil dies, which they're backwards here, but they're basically dies like this, which again, they don't cut out, they hot foil. So I'm going to show you what is hot foiling and what it does. Alright, so most of you are familiar with the mink machine, which you would use mink foil or deco foil. We're going to do that in a minute. And it's basically a extremely hot laminator, and you use your carrier sheets. This is a little different. This uses specialized foil called hot foil. I didn't see any on HSN. But I did buy some when I got this machine. So I have some gold. And this is from createandcraft.com, guys. So you can probably buy the other machine and get the hot foil from Create and Craft. Todo, this is the gold foil. The silver foil. And then I have some brights. Red, green, Pacific blue, and white. And it specifically says it's for the Todo hot foil rolls. This might have came with the machine. I'm just going to grab a piece of this. Yeah. Okay, so what you're going to do is turn the machine on. This light will turn from red to green. You're going to put your die stamp up so that what's happening is it's heating up that die. This plate here gets gets hot. What also came with the machine was like a little hot pad, silicone pad, and it came with this little tool which is magnetic, which will pick up the die. It doesn't get super hot, but it does get warm. So what you're supposed to do is put your foil, and you want it colored side down so that it impresses the color. I'm going to cut a piece of this off. Okay. And And I do have some cardstock cut out here. My desk is a mess, guys, because this machine is so big. It takes up like my whole desk. All right, and I just have some Nina Solar White. So we're putting this face down, so this, and you can see that it flattened right out. We're going to put this in the middle there. And then we're going to put our cutting plate over this. And then we're basically going to roll this over it. And what's going to happen, and I think I need to tighten this a little bit, is the heat is going to press up onto the foil, and it's going to give it a letterpress effect because we're rolling over it, rolling over the die, which is going to press into the paper, but also the foil is going to be impressed. See, now there's a little dial here which raises or lowers the rollers inside, and I don't have that low enough, so we're going to lower it a little more. All right, there I can feel the pressure of it going down. Now, this is not a die, but you could use regular dies, and I'll show you how to do that. And I'm going to just take it down another notch and try it again. And another half a notch. We'll see if it'll take it. And I can feel this is warming up. Now, it doesn't melt the plastic. Like I said, it doesn't get super hot. All right, and we'll see how that did. Okay, so what you have is not only a foiled image, but it's letterpressed in there. So that's hot foiling. Now, what's neat about the hot foiling is that you can do any kind of metal die that you have in your collection. So these are some other ones that I got from Todo. They're just like background dies. Same concept. You leave them on the plate to heat up. Here's like a chevron one. Here's a striped one. And you can use these for regular embossing. I can run these through the Sizzix machine and make an impression on them. But what I wanted to show you was, I'm going to try it with this penny black die that I got last year. Which is called... I don't know. No two are alike. Is that the name of it? But this is a die that you would normally cut these shapes out. So I'm going to take my magnet tool and lift this up out of the way. I'm going to leave this down here. And there are grid lines on there, which makes it pretty neat for lining up. Alright, and I'm going to give that a second to warm up. Now, the deco foils will not work on this, and because the deco foils basically need heat and adhesion, and we don't have that here. So it doesn't work very well. And my experience is these Todo foils do not work in the mink machine. So you do need to have different foils. That's a video for another day. I honestly have not played around too much with them to tell you my honest opinion on that. So we're just going to let this heat up. And let me cut another piece of foil while it's doing that. And I know this is going to be a long video, guys. I appreciate your patience while watching it. Now this die is very intricate, so it's not going to stand out and be real thick because it's a really intricate die. It's still warming up there. And another piece of Nina. I probably should have cut it more to match. But we're just doing a demonstration today, so it doesn't need to be exact. Okay, another thing I don't like about this machine, besides how big it is if you do not have this little roller dial in the right setting, and you turn your handle here, these plates start to shift if it's too tight. And if it's too loose, you don't really know if you have a good setting there. So you kind of have to play with it a little bit to get it on the right setting. I'm taking it down another notch. Now, see, I'm already making a mistake because I have it on cut mode and it's going to cut. So I want to change that. Good thing I didn't have it tight enough or it'll cut that right through. I do have, the machine came with its own shim. This is like your embossing shim. So we're going to use this. And again, the machine doesn't get hot enough to affect this. And now we're going to put this over top of it. And we're going to have to raise this up a couple notches now. Because we don't want it to cut the design, we just want it to emboss design. And I can tell that that has very good resistance, that it's embossing that. Now, if it's embossing it with the foil, we'll have to wait and see. I can see the design coming through. Take the cutting plate off, take the embossing plate off. And there you can see it embossed through the foil. Like I said, this is a fine line design, but you can see that blue foiling is in there. Very pretty. So it is embossed with foil. So that is how you do hot foiling with the Todo machine or your press and go, hot and go, whatever that machine's called through Anna Griffin. I do not recommend that you take your dies and try to run them through the Mink machine. That is not a good idea. I do not recommend that you put anything in the Mink machine that does not belong in the Mink machine. You will mess up your machine. You will mess up your products. So I'm just going to kind of turn this guy off and push it aside and bring the Mink into view. And we'll use that. So give me 1 second, guys, while I move the desk around.